Summarize Testing 1, 2. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, thank you for joining me. My name is Shaikwab Ban Yisrael, and welcome to my channel. And there's my delivery. Hold on a second. Aren't you guys talking to the other day? Oh, that wasn't you? Okay. Oh, really? You Arizona guy? I mean, you're sure you obey. Oh, 1073. You believe in God? Take this with you, man. Because this book right here it's not well known, but this is the latest revelation from the one who the world calls God. And that book right here is him calling the whole world back to the people, your people, used to worship the natives. He's calling the whole world back to himself in that book. So make sure you check it out. Try to give it a good read. Okay? See you later. Okay, sorry about that. That was my the delivery. Had a delivery. So now I'm all set, man. I got my Tootsie Roll suckers. I'm all set for when I have movie night every night. Now I got my suckers, so I'm all set. All right. My name is Jacob Ben Israel. Thank you for joining me, my channel, where I like to talk about the OAHSBE Bible, latest revelation of the Creator in preparation for the kingdom on earth, And so this is very, the OAHSBE is very controversial. Revelation is tearing down all the old traditions and institutions of men and telling him that now is the time to basically grow up. So, Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity. I ask that you help me to redeem the time while for my video, that you'll implement, that you'll give me inspiration, that the angels will use me to speak, to use my mouth to share and help and encourage anybody who listens to this channel, who is a faithless also, who is turning away from the world and are only desiring to make the resurrection. Jehovah, I just ask that you will use me to speak wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and to impress upon all of us that the short amount of time that we have in this reality, and to redeem it while we are here on the earth, and to understand the benefit that we have of being on the earth and the time that we have and the opportunity to get knowledge so that we can grow and make our highest resurrection. It's an uphill battle. We live in a land of darkness. The power of the earth is very strong to pull people, to keep people tied down to the things of the earth and the flesh and the self and the ego. And so we got an uphill battle, but you have given us more than enough to overcome. And so I ask you to use this channel to help me to say something, to help my brother, encourage them, give them wisdom, and that they may go and be the best light that they can be as well. Jehovah, thank you. In your name, I give thanks, so let it be. All right, brethren, again, thank you for joining me, my channel. I do have some good news. I was just kind of bopping around and the on the site for that the Unknown Many, in collaboration with the Universal Faithists of Cosman, I was just bopping around, looking around on the billboard sites all over the nations, where they have this site where they have openings where you can put up a billboard. So I was looking around and I came across one in St. Louis that was a big time bargain, and I grabbed it right away. Now, I think I'm beginning to learn the way it works with this billboard thing. You could think you have it and it get pulled right out from under you. And so I grabbed it. I jumped on it, but I ain't got no faith that I hope the creator intervenes and let me reserve the billboard site. It's in St. Louis. It's right by the arch, right by that famous arch that St. Louis is famous for. Right by that arch, man. Prime location. I think the stadium is near there. I drove by there one time when I was coming out from the east to the west. And so I'm happy to report that the billboard for St. Louis is going to go up in September 21st, going to run for 1 month. Also, the billboard in Florida, Biscayne Garden, Florida, is going up. August 31st, that one's going to go up. The billboard in Cincinnati, Ohio, is going to go up September 14th, one day after the Bengals opening home game. That's a killer for me because the billboard is right there at the stadium in Cincinnati. It's a prime location, and it's totally because of the creator that I was able to get that location. I mean, it's the best location, right where you drive into the stadium, man. And they're putting it up one day after they begin their opening season at home. And I'm just hoping and praying, man, that thing goes up a couple of days before the billboard company says that. They put the billboards the week of the start date. So that could be a couple of days before. So the billboard front, I'm just so excited, man. You got an opportunity if you want to chip in. I know ain't nobody got no money, but if you still want to chip in or something, or I got a GoFundMe link in the video description section of the video of the channel here. You go in the video, the commentary section, and I have a link for all kinds of free stuff. The OAHSBE, the 6-volume set, and you can go and if you want to chip in, you want to be a part of what the Unknown Many and the Universal Faithists of Cosmin are doing, then there's your opportunity. But I think that the Creator is the one that's allowing this to go forward. The agenda is for the next billboards to go up in Atlanta. The one in Atlanta, the location I had there, it got taken from me. And that's a prime area right there, man. But so I'm just kicking back, waiting for my next opportunity to put one up in Atlanta, and then Philadelphia after that, and then where else? Detroit after that, and then New York. So just to give anybody an idea of the billboards that are going to go up, and I just pray that this is the start of the Creator, that he will use this effort, this project, to explode, to bring the Oahspe, to make it mainstream, to make it part of the conversation. And I'm just thrilled that we got the idea to do it. And man, so join in, chip in, man. It's a good thing. It's certainly a good work, man. So the billboard project, and then of course the website for I don't have it up on screen here. The website for the Universal Faithists of Cosmin, where we have our information for ministry and other information. If you're new to the channel, this is the website you go to and get ministry and information. It's called the Universal Faithists of Cosmin right there. And it's got contact information. It's got the ministry information you can see right there. And it's also got a little statement of what we're all about. You can read that. And in addition to that, if you would like to check out, if you're new, let's say, to the Oahspe, you're new to it, and you maybe, you're a little short on funds, and I can certainly dig that. There's brethren who have taken it upon themselves. They'll send it to you for free. These brethren right here, they'll send. See, that's the kingdom. The kingdom, man, is See, that's one thing that's going to be the shock of the world, man. The kingdom is not money. It's doing things freely from your own free will. That's the kingdom of the creator on the earth. Send these brethren an email, they'll send it to you for free. And in addition to that, they'll send you another big encyclopedia looking book called Radiance Anthology. Send it to you, send that to you for free too, you know. Angel Messages, Radiance Anthology, you know. And then the Unknown Many, they've also put together a 6-volume set. A 6-volume set, which is really just a study guide. It really just a study guide to the Oahspe, where you could just open it up, you know, basically just turn it to any page, and it's formatted in a way to like catch you, just grab you, you know what I mean? Grab you, you know, subject matter, you read something, hey, what? It says this, it says that, you know. Man, let me open up the Oahspe and see what this is talking about here, you know. The 6-volume set here, there's a link where if you want and you're a little short on funds, you can get this for free too. You know, I'll send it to you for free and it'll be my pleasure. You know, I just ask you don't take advantage of me. You know, here it is right here, 6-volume set. You know, you open it up. I guess I should show you what the inside of it looked like. 6-volume set. And it's just, you know, it's meant for people with short attention spans. The 6-volume set. It looks like this. You know, PowerPoint form, just meant to grab your attention, you know, just snapshots of verses and, you know, to give you an idea of, you know, what's in it. That's what the 6-volume set looks like. The whole 6 books looks like that. So that it'll hopefully, you'll pick up the Oahspe, you'll turn it to this page, and then you'll hope, you know, my idea, my belief is that all you got to do is just open up the Oahspe. Just open it up. And if you're ready to make the resurrection, you'll be hooked. You'll be hooked, but you got to be ready to make the resurrection. Most of the world is not ready to make the resurrection because they still are in love. They're still tied to themselves or they're tied to the world. And so I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying a fact of life, you know. I'm going to do a little talking on the 9 entities of the OAHSBE, the Oahspe. I'm going to read a little bit from the book of Alp, and I know I probably never get to the Gospel of Thomas translations all and before it be time to close the video. But I'm going to, I learned a little something. The Creator, He blessed my soul, gave me some understanding on something, made me so happy. I got up and started dancing. Now that we found love, and well, I didn't get up. I'm in a power chair, you know, but I shake my booty in my chair, you know, turned it on that song. Now that we found love, you know, you get so happy, man. That's all I'm saying. When the Creator, when He give you understanding on something, then you can run and share it with your brethren. That's all I'm saying, man. You know, I just got, so He gave me the understanding today on the 9 entities. He gave me a little understanding, but I'm I'm a little unsure. I'm still a little unsure. And, you know, I asked the brother to check out the video, brother Gabriel, to fact check me out, you know, and so that, you know, I'm kind of the information that I have right now, I've really only just kind of had it since today. Today, what I'm going to be sharing is what I learned today. Basically, what I learned today, and it just thrilled my soul, man. You know, it just thrilled my soul, man. I just, it's my pleasure to share it with you. So anyway, that's what the inside of the 6-volume set looks like. And if you think you'd like a copy, just go click on the link, get in contact with me. I just ask you don't take advantage of me. If you're a little short on funds, that'd be my pleasure to send it to you, you know. I just think that this is the best thing in the world, man. The 6 volume set, the OAHSBE, study supplement, just to point you to things in the OAHSBE where you may want to open it up, look at it, read it, and then that'll grab you right there. I trust the creator. He can speak to you. I trust the creator, man. I trust him, man, that if you're ready, all you got to be is ready to be plugged in. Not everybody's ready to be plugged in. Again, I'm not coming down on anybody. It's just that this is the time for, if you're on the earth and you're a faithist, I will admit that it is an advantage that the creator, he gives certain people in the world to come into the light, start your resurrection process, even while you're in the womb on the earth. Creator says, we ain't even born yet. We're not even born yet. And so it just, this incredible opportunity for you faithists to begin the resurrection right now, begin it right now, meaning to fight to what's a good word for make yourself over? Make yourself over, man. Make yourself over, which means to change your mind, which means to do battle with the vainglory, the ego, self-focus, the mind of me, the flesh, the lower vibration. That's what the creator is calling us to do right now. Be self-abnegating, meaning to share, be more willing to give than to receive, that sort of thing. The creator, and the opportunity is open for anybody. We're not trying to hide anything from anyone. Faithists aren't we're not like trying to be some exclusive little group, and we're in and you're out. That ain't our mindset, man. Faithists root for you. We root for other people and actively work to help the resurrection process, plain and simple. And I get a big kick out of it, man. In the video commentary section of the video of the channel here, I got a link for Books to Prison. I really love that one, man. Link the Books to Prison, man. You can click on that link, man, and it'll take you all over the nation, man. Say, oh, okay, you want to send books here to, somebody incarcerated here? You can send it to this address. We'll send it to the prison. Send it to the prison library. And if you have somebody incarcerated, you get their information, and then you tell the link or the place where you send the books to. Yeah, I want this to go to this person or that person. The link to the Books to Prison, man. There's so much, man. When you get a little taste of the creator and you get a little taste of the kingdom of the creator and how the kingdom is all about, man, people serving one another, it's very addictive. It's very addictive, man. We on the earth right now, and we in a situation where the world, see, the 9 entities, man. I'm getting hit with so much that I want to share that I'm starting to confuse myself. I'm getting too much, man, to want to share with you, and I can't get it all out in time. You know what? I want to share something real quick too, man. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. But I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it, man. Faithist. I believe, man, that the creator, I believe that sometimes you have, let me just tell you what happened to me. Something happened to me. Now, this happened just 2 days ago. Now, I was sitting there, right? And sometimes I say to myself, Jehovah, will you make this happen for me? One time I was sitting here, this happened about 2 weeks ago. I was sitting here and I was hotter than 2 boiled squirrels here in Tucson, Arizona. It was like 107, 108 degrees, and shoot, right now it's like Alaska. It's only 105, And I was sitting there, I said, Jehovah, will you send a monsoon? And I didn't believe it in my heart. You know what I mean? But I can't find nothing in the OAHSBE that says don't ask for stuff like that. I couldn't find anything. You know what I'm saying? I sat there, I said, Jehovah, I don't think I even said Jehovah. I just said, send the monsoon, make it rain, And don't you know, a couple of hours, now I'm sure if I'd have looked at the weather, it would have said a monsoon is coming, But I didn't know, man. I did not know, you know. And I just sat there and I said, send the monsoon, like I was king of all I survey. I imagine I was king for a day. I said, send the monsoon. And a couple of hours later, man, it was tornado like here in Arizona. Now, I'm telling you this to tell you to do the same thing. Why don't you do the same thing? What's stopping you? You know what I mean? To pray for somebody, your family, for their welfare. What's stopping you? What's keeping you, man? Who says you can't? Can't do that. You know, you only limit yourself. I asked for a monsoon, and man, it was like tornado weather here a couple hours later. And then a couple of days ago, and I don't expect every time, you know, for things like this to come to pass. I'm not saying I expect it to come to pass every time. I was sitting up here and I said, I wish that I could talk to somebody I haven't talked to in a long time. I said, I wish I could talk to somebody I haven't talked to in a long time who I would really be thrilled to hear from. Now, this happened like 2 days ago, right? I think I asked like a couple of days before it actually happened. And so Friday, lo and behold, my high school baseball coach called me. He contacted me out of the blue. Out of the blue, 40 years ago. 40 years ago, man. You know? And immediately when he contacted me, he sent me a message. He sent me a message over my phone. Hey, I'm checking in with you. How you doing? And where you at now? And I I just you see, it's times like that where I'm telling you, man, something it happens to you. Your vibration, I had to get a hold of myself. You see what I'm saying? I had to get a hold of a hold of myself, man. The creator, he do stuff like that to you. You sell out for the creator. If you sell out, man, you got a mind to sell out for the creator, to make the resurrection. These things that be happening to me, man, I just think it's crazy. I think I just, I wish I could explain it. And I'm telling you because I'm convinced the same is waiting for you brethren too. The same testimony is just sitting there waiting for you brethren too, man. The same testimony just sitting there waiting for you. Why don't you try the creator? That brother, what's his name? Brother Davis. If you listening to this video, Brother Phil Davis, I want to let you know I appreciate what you said in the Bible study. I really appreciate that, man. Where you said it's time for us to see the glory of the creator. It's time for us to see it, man. Yeah, we believe, you know, but it's time for us to see it, man. I like that type of spirit, where I I start asking for things, you know, and in your heart you don't believe it's gonna come to pass. You know what I mean? We've been taught Christianity, you know, not to get down on it, but I I I'm I'm going against that mindset. Now I start asking for things. Now I asked to get out of this power chair and I have not gotten out of it. My medical condition, has really improved a lot. I mean, I'm still, you know, it's certainly not what it was before, but he will not, and it's probably a good thing because if I get out of this chair and I start ripping and running again like I used to, that probably I would probably come under a lot of the pull of the world. If I could start ripping and running, you know, I probably, that might be a heavy, you know, temptation. And so, You have to believe that the situation you in is absolutely the best for you, man. I don't count myself as a brother that can really handle, a lot of really heavy temptation, just one after one. I consider myself a babe. I'm trying to grow, get stronger, and make the resurrection, trying to take off the self. The flesh is strong, man. I don't like to play around with it. I don't like to play around with it. So anyway, you know, my coach from 40 years ago, man, right after I asked the creator to speak with someone who I would get a kick out of talking to, and it happened. And even right now, I'm still fighting calling it a coincidence. I'm still fighting it in my mind. Oh, he would have done it anyway. It would have happened anyway. That's how strong the flesh is. Creator do something, and you count it. You chalk it up to coincidence. You see, I got a long way to go, man, but I don't mind. I don't mind this fight. I don't mind this one at all, man. And I'm glad to share that with y'all, so that hopefully you brother will start doing the same thing. Why don't you do the same thing, man? Why don't you ask for outrageous good things that are righteous? They're not don't the lottery. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just couldn't believe that, man. I could not. That one hit me, man, for 40 years ago, man. So anyway, the title, I'm going to talk about the 9 entities and I'm not going to get to all that I have planned. I already know that. I can tell this early in the video, I got too much to share. I got too much to share, man. Let me see if I can get started right now with the 9 entities. The 9 entities, man. Now, see. Let me see. Let me just go. Let me do it like this. The understanding I got, it made me so happy, man. It made me so I wanted to kiss somebody so bad, hug and kiss somebody so bad. You know, I was so happy, man. Oh my goodness, man. And you just sit there and you can't even move. Sometimes the creator do that to you. You can't even move. I mean, you just can't. You know, the joy, the little moments of heaven, man, are just too much. They're too much. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up what the OAHSBE says about the entities, the 9 entities. I got new understanding on it, new light on them, the entities. Let me bring them up first. The ones that I'm talking about is like Jehovah, Te, Cosmin, Uz, Esfoma. Here we go, right here. Here they are. I think Cosmin and ES. I got some new understanding on it. For me, I'm not saying for you. For me, I just learned this. And so I'm excited to share it with you. I got to find it first. Let me find it. And I hope that the creator let me say this to you clearly, man. You know, I just hope that I can talk to you like a baby, you know. Now I'm still looking for it. Just bear with me. Okay, now I'm having trouble finding it. Okay, let me do it like this. I got to do it like this. Esfoma. Let me type in Esfoma, and that should take me to the part of the Oahspe where the 9 entities are. Okay, is this it? Okay, here we go. The 9 entities. And really, this is the nature of our reality. What this is really the nature of our reality, the 9 entities. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, man. I'm going to be sharing. I haven't had a chance to like really look. I mean, just look at it and really do look at it deeply. I got so excited that I wanted to share it, and I'm going to keep on looking at it and studying it. And now, the 9 entities, you all know them. Okay, Jehovah, Te, okay, Te, Uz, Esfoma, S, Hak, Cosman, and Cephas. Those are the 9 entities, right? You see Jehovah, that's 1. Te, that's 2. Uz, that's 3. Esfoma, 4. Hak, 5. Cephas, 6. So I'm missing 3 more. Is Corpor one? I don't think so. Te. Okay, I think Corpor might be one. I forget. Uz, I know Uz is one. Esfoma, yeah. S. Hak, H-A-K. Cosman, Cephas. Okay, I'm missing 3. Okay, I gotta. I'll. You know what? Let me cheat. Let me cheat. The Spirit is saying, go ahead, cheat, Iquab, cheat. Now, how do I? Go ahead and cheat. Go to AI. What are the 9 entities in the OAHSPE? Okay. The 9 entities in the OAHSPE. Okay, you got, Jehovah. Okay, Corpor is one. Okay. You got Jehovah, Te, Corpor, Uz, Esfoma, S, Hak, Cosman, Cephas. Wait a minute. 1, Jehovah, 1, Te, 2, Corpor, 3, Uz, 4, Esfoma, 5, S, 6, Hak, 7. Okay, Cosman, 8, Cephas, 9. Okay. All right. I just can't count. All right, so here we go. The 9 entities, man. What I got showed today. Now, Jehovah, and now what the entities do for us is show us the nature of our reality. It show you the structure of the way the Creator, everything that has to do with our resurrection and what entities play a part in our existence, our resurrection. All of these play a part somehow in our reality, in our existence, in our resurrection. Okay. Now, of course, you have Jehovah, right? The source of all things is Jehovah, right? The all highest. Creator is in each one of us. The source starts with Jehovah, right? And then you got Te, right? He's the highest general expression of mankind. Now, you know what I learned today? We are not in the time of Te right now. How do you like that? I thought that it was a historical cycle in the Oahspe. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, man. We have not reached the time of Te right now. Does anybody disagree with me? We have not reached this time yet. According to my own inner light, now I could be wrong. Do you know we have not even reached this time period yet? We're still in the time of Cephas. This is what's being um, dissolved right now. Cephas. This is this time period right here. See, Cephas is that which is established. You see that? Things that have been set up for our governance, you know, laws of the land, religion of the land, you know, things that have structured our reality. We've been under, you know, how you have like a a a parent has a set of rules for their children, you know, that they have to abide by. You know, it's a structure for the children to grow and to know what the boundaries are of the things that the parents will allow. That's basically what's been our reality up until now. The Creator has given us forms of government. Remember, He gave us like, started us all like when we were closest to our creation. He'd give you a monarch, a strong leader, you know, like the alpha dog, checking everybody who was getting out of line. And then as we began to grow and to create cities and communities, you know, and then we needed another form of government, like a republic, you know, even up until this day, where we have like uh, we've gone from like a monarchy to let me see. Now let me ask again, because I forget the forms of government that we have been under according to the OAHSBE. What are the forms of government that men have been under according to the OAHSBE? What are the forms of government that men have been under according to the OAHSBE? I mean, you know, you get my drift, man. You know, the Creator, He's just, according to our spirituality and our ability to handle it, you know, we've been under different forms of government to get us to this point where we are right now, the Cosmic era, where now we should know enough, you know. Now we're ready for higher things. See, we were under monarchies, early rule by kings or similar authorities. Okay? And then republics, right? Republics, self-rule or representatives. We kind of have that right now. We're approaching fraternities. That's going to be the Cosmic era. See? So we had monarchy, strongmen, dictators, those type, you know, because we were at a level of our creation where you needed a little harsher, you know, somebody that will lay the wood down, you know, and everybody else, they stayed in line. You know, we were closer to our creation, our animal nature, our beastly nature when we were created. And that's the only thing that the beast nature can understand is like force, you know, strong arm, you know. And so the Creator, He gave us monarchies, you know, early ruled by kings or similar authorities. And if you study history of man, when you put power like that in the hands of mortals, they abuse it. They immediately abuse it, man. But it works another fruit. It keeps people in fear and respect, howbeit unhealthy, of authorities. You see, monarchies, and then republics. The people, they come around. Hey, you know, we want somebody to represent us. You know, we want to have a part in how you ruling over us. Okay, when people got that spirit on them, the Creator He started to give us the idea of republics, self-rule by people or representatives, which is what we have right now. Basically, what we're supposed to have. Okay. So we graduated from monarchies. You don't really hardly see that much about monarchies. You might see it in the Gulf Coast countries, you know, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, you know, UAE, you know, Oman, Yemen, you know, the Gulf Coast countries, Kuwait, you know, where the British set them up, They put them in place, drew their borders so that they could keep resources. These people, they set up these monarchies in the Gulf Coast countries so that they would keep the oil and resources flowing to Europe. So the British, they drew up Saudi Arabia's borders, Yemen's, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain drew up their borders, put people in power and said, all right, it'll all be good. You just keep that oil and whatever else, you just make sure you keep that stuff coming over to our crib in Europe. you know so that little form of government, and even the creator is tearing that, he's allowing that to be torn down right now. you know they're failing. you know these monarchies of the Gulf Coast countries, the way they treat their people, they you know what I mean? And the creator, he's now tearing that down now. That's what you see going on in the world today with these conflagrations in the Middle East and all that. The creator, he's tearing that down right now. Those monarchs over there, they dog people out, man. The monarchies over in the Gulf Coast countries, and you've seen the same thing in the world, man. The monarchs of the world, King Leopold, you know, um, the Chinese guys, I forget, I forget the dictators of the world, you know, the dude over in North Korea, he's one, but you've seen them, we've heard about them, we read about them, you've seen them. And so men get to a point, they don't want that. They want to have a piece of the pie. Now you got republics, but corruption is still there. You still see, we still, it helped us to represent see, in all this, you can see a little stage of growth, a little, elevating in the reality of men living with one another in cities and governments. And, now we got republics. You're supposed to be able to vote and order of your own interests, but corruption has found a way to to corrupt to make governments, make them operate in their own interests. You get people who have money and who have power, and they say, hey, this is a free system, and then they know good and well that all they got to do is pay off the people who are in charge. And but anyway, it's better than a monarchy. It's supposed to be a republic, right? You see the corruption that we are under right now. And that's why the creator is tearing. That's why, the time of Cephas, the time of traditions and old ways of governance, of all of that's being torn down right now. We're in the process of Cephas being torn down, and Cosmin is here now. Cosmin, where there's new light, we're supposed to elevate in our spiritual understanding. And then Te will come after Cosmin, where men will begin to reflect what's written in the Oahspe. Now, again, man, just correct me if I'm wrong. This is my understanding I'm sharing with you. After Cosmin, Te is going to come on. He's going to come on men's vibrations, and they're going to start asking the same things that Te did in the book of Te. In the book of Te, they're going to start asking questions like that. That's when the earth is going to start becoming, the creator is going to move on men to make the earth a paradise, the way it's always meant to be, a paradise. Because people in the time of Te, when the influence of Te, when it comes, after Cosmin get finished with us, we should be at a point where we are ready to fulfill the commandments of the creator, in the sense that we don't want our old way of the flesh and the fighting and the wars and the ego and the pride and the vainglory. We finished with that. We don't want no more of that. We done with it. We seen what happened. We don't get nowhere. So Cosmin is going to help, is going to lay the foundation for that. That's where you brethren come in. That's where the billboard project is a big part of it, where the Oahspe is getting ready to be mainstream, man. We're here to lay the foundation, to lay the seeds down, man. Cosmin is going to be the laying of the foundation, man, to prepare the kingdom for the earth, for the paradise to come on the earth. And so, and when Tay come along, we're going to when Tay comes along, those questions that you see him asking in Oahspe, then that's going to be our vibration. That's going to be everybody's vibration. We're going to start looking at the creator, man. Man's mind is going to change. His mind is going to change, man, you know? And then we're going to start this form of government right here. Fraternities. We're going to hook up with other faiths, you know? We're going to hook up with one another. We're going to do for one another. Ain't going to be no capitalism around. People taking advantage of one another, you know, ruling over one. No more kings, no more presidents or governments or authorities. See, Cosmin is laying the foundation for that. And then by the time Tay get around, our minds are going to change to just what you read in Oahspe. We're going to start, that's going to be our mindset. Tay. And then after Tay, S, spirit, the spirit world. Now, spirit it's now I have a hard time. It seems to me that what S is going to vibration that the spirit, the mystery of the spirit is going to be commonplace, if I may say so. I'm just trying to share according to my best understanding what the effect of S. See, we haven't come to this time yet either. We haven't come to Tay. We haven't come to that time yet. We've come to corpor because that's the physical. We haven't come to us yet. The vanishment of things seen into the unseen. That's the end of the earth right there. When the earth serves its purpose, us is going to take over. Us is going to dissolve the earth when the earth serves its purpose. When it's time for the vanishment of the earth, after it produces its harvest, it's going to be the time of us. But before that, as FOMA, that's something that is ongoing from creation even till now. As FOMA, something in the wind, or as things seem to indicate, a signs of the time. See, we going through that right now. As FOMA, it comes, I don't want to say it goes, but it has an effect. As FOMA, like creation, you know, the vortex, you know. But it's FOMA, and it's described as a she, you know, the woman, birth, you know. There's something in the wind, you know, it's FOMA, you know. It's a beautiful thing the creator is telling us this stuff, man. You know, as FOMA is responsible for like the creation, you know, the movement, the vibration among men, that things are changing, you know, from the old to the new, from religion to to faithism, you know, there's something moving among the spirit of men. There's a change coming. That's what FOMA. As FOMA gets it started, you know, it's a vibration that comes on us. It produces an effect. It's going to bring us into cosmic. Men are going to stop. They're going to put down Cephas, governments, kingdoms, traditions of men, you know, and our vibration is going to change. We're going to be tired of the old, out with the old, in with the new. As FOMA is contemporary with our day, you know, it's like it was there at creation, all the changes of seasons, you know, when we went from beastly kingdom, you know, to like cities and governments and then spirituality and the beginning of cosmic. That was a FOMA working on us. That's FOMA. Hawk, that's another thing that's contemporary. It's like ongoing, you know, times of darkness, times of light, you know. It kind of comes and goes according to my understanding. Hawk. See, this is our reality. You know, I would say right now we're going through a little season of hawk. You know, because if you look at this country, it's fast destroying itself. Hawk, moving on men's spirit, their vibration. Hawk, it can be contemporary with, you know, how do I say this? It could be going on at the same time as the cosmic era is beginning to sprout. It's like when you're driving. Say, like if you're driving, you're going through a city and it's thunderstorming, raining, bad weather, and then you drive out of it. Same way in our reality. Hawk. We go through that. Times of darkness, man, covering the earth. The leaders, they not, you know, that reminds me right there. I'm glad I remembered it because I knew I was going to forget it. See, I ain't never going to get to the other titles, man. Reading of the book of Op and Gospel of Thomas. Now, one thing I learned, another thing I learned, that with the Creator, I learned that, I don't know how to say this, when a government stops serving the people, judgment is proportional to the corruption of the government. Now, I'm not good at math, but I think I understand this one little thing. When you hear somebody say the sentence was proportional to the judgment, that means that, say like you get a guy, if you get somebody, he steals a bar of candy, you know, he's going to get like, you know what I mean? He's going to get like reprimanded. You know, the judge is probably going to, reprimand him, make him do a couple hours of community service, to teach him a lesson. The sentence is proportional to the crime, right? Now, when somebody picks up a gun and murders somebody, the sentence is proportional to the crime, right? Some people have to give their life. I got a cousin doing a life sentence right now. You commit the crime and you could forfeit your whole life behind bars. The judgment is proportional to the crime as men see it. Same way in the spirit, man. It's the same way in the spirit. Now, why am I saying all these things? Because I came across a study. Man, that let me know where we are as a world. Now, look, I remember reading it. This is what it said. It said something like this. 69% of people dissatisfied with the government.
According to a Pew Research Center analysis, 69% of U.S. adults are dissatisfied with how the government is working.
69% of U.S. adults are dissatisfied with how democracy and the government are working in the country. Okay? Americans more dissatisfied. The people are pissed off, man. Now this is serious business right here. Because according to the Creator, when the rise in corruption, when the government is not serving the people, then let me see, now I forgot. What did it say? What did I learn? I learned that speeds up that government's demise. Matter of fact, it's squared to what I read is that the Creator, he squares the amount of corruption let me say it another way. The advent of demise of a government is proportional to the corruption it engages in. All right? I hope that makes sense. That means that according to the corruption of the government, that's how fast it brings about its demise, right? Does that make any sense? Can you understand what I'm trying to say there? That means that the more corrupt and evil you are, the faster you bring on your demise. That's why I'm showing you this right here. 69% of people say they are dissatisfied with the way, see, we in the cosmic era now. It ain't no coincidence that Cephas is on the way out. Cephas. Where's Cephas at? Cephas. Where's Cephas? Cephas, which began with Sethantes, the first god of the earth, the establishing of institutions and governments and traditions of men. Cephas began way back then, and it taught men to live orderly, under a system, Cephas, traditions. But now it's time for Cephas is coming to its conclusion, right? It did its work in the sense that it taught people to get in line, live amongst one another, be disciplined in a sense. Cephas. That's why the Creator put us under Cephas. Now that's coming to a conclusion. That should be in our DNA. Okay. And now the Creator is saying that, but when Cephas, this one way we could tell, that's why the things that are happening right now, they're not a coincidence with the corruption, at least among America, and the trouble we are causing in the world, because we know that the dollar is losing its value as the currency of the earth, and that's all that we have. And we know that the time of our power is over with. And so the government, now they have to turn to tricks and all kind of gimmicks to try to keep the dollar going. But the people, they know, because their bill is going up and they dissatisfied. See, when you are corrupt, man, you speed up your judgment. I even read a report, or I heard a report, right? Now, you brethren have probably heard the budget, it's like $40 trillion. $40 trillion. See, now what do you think the nations of the world is saying that hold that debt? They're saying, hey, they can't pay me back, man. They can't pay me back. So I ain't buying no more of their bonds. Now, I don't want to bore you, I want to just give you the big picture, man. The American power structure, government, America, the Creator is moving it aside. He's making it step aside. And it's going to, I'm sorry to say this. Man. We looking at a lot of pain, a lot of pain, man. Okay? I'm sparing you a lot. I ain't sitting up here talking about the bond markets. I ain't talking about November and the elections. And, I'm really sparing you. I'm not going a whole lot into the shortage of the oil supplies, where we're at right now, how much we got in our reserves, and, how much we're importing, how much we're exporting. I'm not talking to you about any of that. Not much anymore. I'd rather just give glory to the Creator and what He's doing. I'm sure you brethren probably already know, man. And the only reason why I would bring them things up, because just like He made the Israelites, and them Israelites were faithless at the Red Sea. Do you know they were faithless? The Creator let them see that army get swallowed up. Okay? He let them see that. Now, I could be wrong, man. The Creator, he let the faith to see that army get swallowed up, man. He let them see it. And I'm sorry, but I think the same thing. He's going to let faith just look on America and teach us a lesson, not like we don't already know. Corruption don't get you nowhere. When you think that you're so powerful and that you get a few people in power, and the first thing they're going to do is take advantage of those they rule over, and you think the Creator going to look on and not do something about that and teach his people a lesson in the world at the same time, you're out of your mind. You are out of your mind, man. And I think that people's foundation is going to crack. Because if all you got is money, meat eating and entertainment, and you have nothing built up spiritually, that is a recipe for people cracking. That's what I'm sorry to say that, man. But there's no other way you're going to get people's attention. We ain't going to there's no other way Cosman can come in unless we're not at the time of Tay, man. We are not there yet. That blew my mind. We're not at the time of ES. We're just now getting rid of Cephas, We're just now, I'm almost out of time. How do you like that? How do you like that? It's 6 o'clock. I knew it. I knew this was going to happen, man. I knew it was going to happen. Man, I knew it. It just went. The time just goes nowhere. And so the 12, the 6, the 9 entities, we haven't even come to Tay. Correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't even come, the things that Tay asked, if you read it, the way his vibration was, it was real. It was a lot of purity to it. Why this? Why that? Why do we do each other this way? How come I can't find nobody that wants to work with me to build a kingdom and do right for, the mindset he was under? We haven't come under that yet. And then after that, ES. And to me, that seems to equate with spirituality. Spiritual, like what we would call spiritual phenomena, happening. We haven't even come to the time of Tay. We have not come to the time of Tay. We've already come to Corpor. We've experienced Corpor. We haven't come to Uz yet. Esphoma has been with us since creation. ES, we haven't come to that time yet. The unseen world. The spirit. Now, I have to be careful with that one, because my understanding is that what we would call miracles, a time of what we would call miracles is like, commonplace now. Now, I know that the beginning of the Cosmic Era, there was the biggest rise in spiritualism in the history of man. And somebody would say, well, that was a time of ES. And I wouldn't argue with you. But I think this talking about a time when it's going to be as obvious as the time of Cephas, meaning wars and fightings and bloodshed. And I think it's going to be more obvious than the mystery that it still is now. So I think this remains to be a time to, Cosmic Era is supposed to last a square. A square is 12,000 years. That's a square. 3 Danha periods, 3,000 years, 4 times 3, 12. Hawk, that's been intermittent in our reality. Hawk, It explains why the evil we see in the world, especially nowadays, we got to be going through a time of Hawk. And then the cosmic era, where we are right now, where it's like I remember 4 or 5 years ago, I used to talk about Pluto going into Aquarius. And what I got out of it, what the world taught me, what the world's understanding of Pluto going into Aquarius was, is power to the people. Power to the people. Remember a couple years ago, people were making a big deal out of Pluto going into Aquarius. Now, I don't know what to think of it from a faithist perspective nowadays, because Pluto, whether it's how they came up with it, I think it's interesting the way they say it has a history of appearing every 240 years, and events happening, and the Declaration of Independence, and something that happened 240 years behind that, and then you get to our day, and it lands on it had some significance in our day a couple of years ago, the year it landed, or I forget. I think it was just the significance was it was 240 years after its last appearance, and that when it shows up, it represents a destruction of some kind. It represents a very noticeable event when Pluto goes into Aquarius. But whether or not it harmonizes with Oahspe, I don't, I laid that argument aside, and whether it does or not, I don't know if I even really care anymore one way or another. I just found it fascinating that it was something scientifically that coincided with events in history that, well, whatever, the present era is, you see, when you have the end of Cephas, you have the end of power going into the hands of a few. Like the elite, the 1%, the rich people of the world, they got power. It's like the 1% of the world, they hold more riches than, they hold the equivalent. The 1% hold more power over the whole world combined. You know what I mean? That's why you see people talk about the 1%. That's coming to its conclusion now. Cephas, the time of Cephas, tradition, that which is established, whenever you get men and the opportunity to rule over other men, they're going to corrupt it. They're going to corrupt it, man. They're going to take advantage of him. It's too sweet of a deal, man, for someone to take power over their brother and rule over him to his detriment. It's too sweet of a deal, man. But yet we needed Cephas to help us to get in line, to help us to, to govern ourselves, to know that we can't break the law, to know that we got, we can't just do whatever we want, treat, to people. You know what I mean? Cephas. Cosmin, the present era, where the mature or the corporeal and the spiritual come to maturity. We put down war. We put down wars and fight, kings and, rulers and all that's coming to its conclusion now. Cosmin is putting all that down to prepare us for Te. Te, the mindset of Te. Now, what I should do, let me see. And I think, well, I'm going to do a part two. And I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do is use the Oahspe. I'm going to use it to tell us what the era of Te is going to be like. I'm going to use the Oahspe and to tell us what the era of ES is going to be like. How's it going to be different from today? How's it going to be different from today? We've already got a good taste of Hawk. We got a good taste of that. We got a good taste of Esfoma. Those are the two entities that have been with us ever since we have come on the earth. And corpor, physicality. Of course, the source is Jehovah. Te is a vibration we haven't come under yet. We haven't come under that vibration. The highest general expression. Right now, we in the flesh. We got a low spiritual grade. We have an imbalance in the world. Have you, brethren, heard about Sudan? We don't hear about African nations because they black people. Don't nobody care about them. You know, the British, the French, the Portuguese, they made sure that Africa didn't modernize. Why? Because they got too many resources. They got too many natural resources, man, you know. So they wouldn't modernize them, wouldn't let them industrialize. If you ever wonder why Africa is why it's in the condition that it's in, you know. See, that's why we are not, man ain't asking, he ain't, you know, his highest general expression. He don't really care about that right now because his flesh is getting served. You know, money, power, his army. So we haven't come to Te yet. Okay, we've come to corporate. We haven't come to Uz, which is the vanishment. Now, somebody might argue with me on that, and I wouldn't argue with you. My understanding is that this is the dissolving of the earth after the earth has served its purpose. You know, after the earth has served its purpose. I think the Creator is beautiful, man. I just love it. I love it with all my soul. I love it. I love it. I just love it. I love the way He's telling us this. I love the way He tells. So now, as faithists, we can redeem the time, man. We can just sit here. We know that we on the earth. We got the opportunity, man, to redeem the time, which means to do battle. It's like the Creator is saying, do you want a head start? In the spiritual, you want a head start? You know, in the Bible, it talked about the man remember that guy? I have to believe people are going to see. I don't know how to say this, man. I'm going to find out. I think people are going to see. I got to ask Brother Harkins or Dr. Kendall. It seemed to me that people are going to see what you miss out on. It seemed to me that people who don't want to make the resurrection on the earth are going to witness the glory and honor of faithists who do make the resurrection. Now, everybody's going to make it. That's the good news. Faithists, we know that. Everybody is going to make the resurrection. Everybody is going to make the resurrection. That's the good news. The faithists only have a head start. But you're talking about what could possibly be a 100 or 200 or even 1,000-year head start, man. You know, existing in the spiritual in honor and glory. Now, those ain't my words. Those ain't my words, man. All right, time at the end of the video, man. I didn't even get to the book of APH, Chapter One, or the Gospel of Thomas translations. You knew I was going to be able to. So I'm going to go to the chat, type of one if you want me to hand you the mic and you want to talk and say something before I close the video. Man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. I do shorter videos now because I just think that they're just too long. I think the shorter the video, the more you can hold somebody's interest. So, okay, let me end it right there. Let me go to the chat and see who's in there before I close the video. All right, let's see who's in here. All right. Tabitha. Fritz. Of course, Brother Nazarene, secret agent Nazarene, goes all over the country dropping bombs. Nobody, and when they look up, they don't even see him. He gone. Nazarene gone. Brother Shink is gone, man. He dropped his bombs. Them index card, he dropped, and then he get out of there. But I be seeing them, though. I see them. Brother Shink, Dwayne Shink. I shouldn't. He telling me, don't say my name, man. I'm a secret agent. Be quiet, Jaquab. Purple rain. Purple rain. You know who that is, right? Judah. Prince Judah. He was in here. All right, so I covered everybody. That's it. I want to direct your attention to the Billboard project. I got a GoFundMe link in there, and if you want to chip in, take part, it's a beautiful thing, man. You know, we on the move. We got the billboard up today in St. Louis, and I hope they watch. They're gonna take it away, man. Watch. I need more faith, man. They took that billboard away from me in Atlanta, and I wanted to cry, man. Oh, they knew I had a good location, man. You know, we got the billboard going up in Florida on August 31st. We got the billboard going up right by the stadium in Cincinnati, man. Oh, bless my soul, man. I don't know how this going to, man, I don't trust when these billboards, these ones in good locations, and right by the stadium, man. You wouldn't believe it. You know it was the creator it was the creator, man. It just it make me giggle at night, you know. It's right by the stadium there, man. You know? It's right by, I should have a picture of it. It's right by the stadium. I'm gonna try to hold on to it. So the one in Cincinnati is going up a day after their first home game. That's what killed me. A day after their first home game, man. That's what made me see. But the billboard company said but sometimes we put the billboards up during the week like a couple of days before the billboard is supposed to go up. So I'm sitting up here with my fingers crossed, man, that they'll put it up before their first home game. You got to go right by that billboard, man, and you know. And you, brother, know what the billboards look like, right? I'll show you again. And then the ones on schedule is Philadelphia, Detroit, New York. Philadelphia, Detroit, New York, and Atlanta. This is what the billboards look like. That's what the billboards going up are going to look like. So also in the link, there's a link for the 6-volume set and a free OAHSBE, you know, and the Books of Prison Ministry. And so that's it. Thank you for joining me, brethren. We on the move. We on the move. Now, what's the name of this song? Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. We're on the move, baby. We're on the move, man. Get ready. Everybody get ready, man. Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity to share these good things. You are on the move, and the OAHSBE is going to be mainstream, and people are going to turn from the beast kingdom and going to turn to a faithist wherever they can find one, and you're going to give it to us, turn it to us to give answers for the reason of the hope that lies within us. And it's going to be our pleasure, Jehovah. It's going to be our pleasure if you call us to go to the forefront, to come into the mainstream. I know I'm ready. I am ready. I pray for my brethren and sisters too. We coming upon a really hard time, Jehovah. It's a real difficult time coming up. And I don't ask that we avoid it, but that you just give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to go through it. And Jehovah, I thank you in your name. So let it be. And brethren, thank you for joining me. And until I see you again, Friday, Creator willing, peace be unto you. Shalom.